At the beginning of the movie, we're introduced to Sarah, a young woman stuck in a life she never wanted. By day, she scoops greasy food behind a fast food counter, taking orders from a manager named Carl, who catches her sneaking glances at her phone between customers. She's not checking texts from friends. She's refreshing her email, praying for the one message that could change everything, a callback from a casting agency. Because here's the thing about Sarah, she doesn't want a normal life. She wants to be an actress. She's wanted it for as long as she can remember. And so far, every single audition has ended in silence. That night, we follow Sarah to a party with her roommate Tracy, where we're introduced to the rest of her orbit. There's Danny, a low-budget filmmaker who's clearly got a soft spot for Sarah. And there's Erin, another actress chasing the same dream. Except Erin's dream keeps coming true. She's booked jobs Sarah auditioned for. She knows it. And she rubs it in every chance she gets, needling Sarah about her looks, her failures, anything to remind her who's winning.
I thought you were avoiding me.
Why would you think that?
I am honestly actually kind of surprised to see you here.
Because I stole your role.
I didn't even know that you auditioned for it, and it was just a stupid commercial. You should be glad that you didn't get it.
Sarah's had enough of the party's energy and starts to leave, but Danny catches up to her outside, offering her a role in his passion project. It's a kind gesture, but Sarah's mind is elsewhere, because right as they're talking, her phone buzzes. It's an email from a production company called Astraeus Pictures. They're casting a horror film titled The Silver Scream, and they want Sarah to audition. Tracy and Danny are thrilled for her. Erin, predictably, shrugs it off like it's nothing. But we can already feel it. This is the moment the story shifts gears. Before the real audition even happens, we get a gut punch of a scene. Sarah dreaming about bombing it completely, stammering through her lines while something unseen watches her fall apart. It's just a nightmare, but it tells us everything about how much pressure she's carrying. The next day, the real audition arrives. Sarah watches another hopeful actress walk out of the room, looking crushed, a preview of what rejection looks like here. Then it's her turn. She introduces herself, performs her scene, and nothing. The casting team gives her the classic brush off. "We'll be in touch." Sarah knows exactly what that means. She's been here before.
I brought a headshot.
What you do in this room right now will render that headshot null and void. Show us.
Chloe didn't get fed up with the shoot and just take off. I went to her trailer. After everyone said that she took off. When I was in her trailer, I heard a shuffling. It was her.
Thank you, Sarah.
What she does next is where the film reveals its first true horror, not supernatural, but deeply human. Alone in the restroom, Sarah spirals into a self-destructive episode, yanking out clumps of her own hair in a fit of anguish. It's raw, it's disturbing, and it's about to become the reason her entire life changes. Because the casting director sees her. Instead of walking away, she pulls Sarah back into the room and asks her something strange. Why does she do that to herself? Sarah admits it's something she's done since childhood, whenever the pain gets to be too much. And then comes the moment that should have been Sarah's biggest red flag. The casting director doesn't offer sympathy. She asks Sarah to weaponize that same self-destruction to perform it, right there in front of everyone. Reluctantly, Sarah lets it all out.
Thank you, Sarah. We'll be in touch.
Sarah goes home buzzing with hope, but says almost nothing to Tracy. She doesn't want to jinx it. The next day at work, she gets the call. She's advanced to the next round. Right as the excitement hits her, Carl catches her on her phone again and lectures her about professionalism. Sarah doesn't hesitate. She quits on the spot. This is a huge moment for her character. She's staking everything, her income, her stability, on a dream that hasn't paid off once. Carl warns her she's making a mistake. She doesn't care. She's convinced this is finally her breakthrough. The next round of auditions takes place somewhere much more unsettling. A dim, private room, far from the sterile casting office of before. And this time, the ask is bigger.
Would you mind disrobing for us?
Sarah, you've already proven that you can memorize lines. Now we need to see you bare.
Sarah hesitates, but desperation wins, and she goes through with it. The team seems pleased. She did what was asked.
That's what we were looking for, Sarah. Thank you.
Back home, her friends are lounging by the pool, and when she shares the good news, Aaron can't resist another dig, mocking the whole situation as a joke of a production. Later, when Stacy slips and hurts herself by the pool, Sarah reacts with an unsettling laugh instead of concern, a small but eerie crack in her behavior that the film wants us to notice. Then her phone rings again. The producer, the man actually financing this movie, wants to meet her, alone. Sarah dresses up, says her goodbyes, and heads off to meet him, brushing off Aaron's snide comments about her outfit on the way out. The producer turns out to be an older man radiating false charm, showering Sarah with praise and telling her she's exactly what this film and this role needs. For a moment, it feels like Sarah has finally made it. Then he makes his move. He wants more than a performance. Sarah, horrified, storms out and refuses to go along with it. Back home, she collapses into tears, and Tracy comforts her as she explains what really happened. This was supposed to be her big break, and instead it turned into an attempted assault. The dream she'd sacrificed everything for suddenly feels tainted beyond repair. Desperate and humiliated, Sarah goes crawling back to Carl and begs for her old job back. He initially refuses, her position's been filled, but relents when he sees how genuinely broken she is. Sarah is back exactly where she started. Worse, actually, because now her friends know what happened, and Aaron uses it as ammunition, openly gloating over Sarah's failure in front of everyone. It's the lowest point of her arc so far. Danny tries to be the one bright spot, offering her the lead in his own independent short film. A small, sincere gesture meant to remind her she still has options that don't come with strings attached. That night at another pool gathering, Sarah watches everyone else laugh and splash around while she sits apart, isolated in her own head. And that's when the producer's words start creeping back into her thoughts. The offer, the role, everything she almost had. She makes a decision that will destroy her. Sarah calls the casting director back and says she's changed her mind, she'll do whatever it takes. She's invited back to the producer's mansion to finish what was interrupted. This time, there's no hesitation. Standing before the producer, Sarah begs for the role, and he tells her the truth. If she wants this badly enough, she has to give up her body, her soul, and everything about her old life, forever. Without flinching, Sarah agrees to it all.
The gateway is open, Sarah. All you have to do is be willing to step inside and never look back.
The next morning, Sarah wakes up in agony, and it only gets worse from there. At work, Carl notices something's deeply wrong and tells her to go home. She refuses until she snaps and slaps him across the face, getting herself fired instantly. She tries calling Estrellas Pictures, desperate for answers about what's happening to her body. No one responds. That night, hanging out with her friends, Sarah starts violently vomiting in front of everyone. Stacy's boyfriend, Poe, more interested in content than compassion, whips out his phone to film her breakdown. When Tracy and Danny try to intervene, Sarah lashes out and attacks Tracy instead, the first real sign that whatever's happening to her isn't just physical. Spiraling, Sarah storms over to Estrellas Pictures demanding answers, only to find the building completely abandoned. The only person there is a homeless man, and in her rage and terror, Sarah unleashes her fury on him instead. What follows is one of the most stomach-churning stretches of the film. Sarah can't sleep. Her hair falls out in clumps. Her skin bruises and cracks. A foul smell starts radiating from her body, one she initially denies, until Tracy confirms it's really coming from her. Tracy tries to reach out, to have one real conversation with her, but Sarah turns on her instead, accusing her of betrayal, of secretly enjoying her downward spiral. Tracy, exhausted and hurt, finally snaps back, revealing she's been covering Sarah's share of the rent for 2 months and begging her to let this fantasy go and find something stable. It's a devastating blow. Sarah's dream, the thing she sacrificed her job, her dignity, and now her body for, is being called worthless by the person closest to her. Then Sarah finds an envelope stuffed with cash from Estrellas Pictures waiting in her room. She doesn't even hesitate. She throws it at Tracy and orders her out. Moments later, the casting director appears in Sarah's room out of nowhere, silencing her and showing her a vision. a glimpse of the woman she's about to become. Radiant, flawless, untouchable. It's meant to be a comfort. It plays more like a warning. The next morning, Sarah's body betrays her completely. Convulsions rack her frame. Her fingernails start falling off one by one. Dark, foul-smelling blood begins seeping from her skin, like she's decomposing while still alive. While trying to clean herself up, she feels something twisting inside her stomach and vomits up a mass of writhing worms. Right as she's at her absolute breaking point, her phone rings. It's the producer, and what he tells her seals her fate completely. If she wants to complete the transformation, she has to make a sacrifice. Not a symbolic one, a human one. That night, Sarah heads to the apartment where her friends are gathered, the very people who've supported her, mocked her, and everything in between. She walks in on Danny and Aaron together, and instead of confronting the moment head-on, she corners Aaron alone in the bathroom. Old wounds spill out accusations about stolen roles, about betrayal. Aaron finally throws Sarah's darkest secret back at her, the fact that she was willing to sleep with the producer just to land the part. Then Aaron turns on the light and finally sees what's happened to Sarah's body. Her anger instantly dissolves into fear. She offers to get Sarah to a hospital. It's too late for mercy. Sarah attacks her. And she doesn't stop there. One by one, she hunts down Stacy, Poe, and Danny.
Hey, did you see Aaron? Sarah, of course we are. What's wrong with you? Are you...
With the sacrifice complete, Sarah joins the cult's ritual, led by the producer himself, chanting and calling out to the entity they worship, Astraeus. By morning, something claws its way up from beneath the earth. It's Sarah, but it isn't Sarah anymore. She finds a mysterious box left for her by the cult and returns to her apartment. Tracy, still holding on to guilt from their fight, comes back to make amends and finds Sarah lying there, her body now unnervingly perfect. Flawless skin, no trace of the decay from before, but her eyes have turned an unnatural shade of green. And then Sarah does something no one saw coming. She takes control of Tracy's mind, pulling her down beside her like a puppet on invisible strings. She asks Tracy to say goodbye, and then she drains the life right out of her, completing whatever twisted ritual this transformation demanded. What's left admires herself with total, chilling satisfaction. Every ounce of suffering, every night of pain, every friend she destroyed, it was all just the price of admission. She's beautiful now, flawless, untouchable. She slips into the dress, the wig, and the necklace Astraeus pictures left for her dressing, not as Sarah, but as whoever she's about to become. In the end, she gets exactly what she always wanted. Fame, beauty, a new life free of struggle. She just had to give up her humanity to get it. And with that, the movie comes to an end.